what's up guys, Benny here, and welcome to my top 5 meta loadouts for Warzone Season 4. And we've had 2 brand new weapons added into the game, which are both exceptionally good. We've got a brand new SMG, the Superi 46, which is a slow, steady fire rate and just really easy to use, and you're going to love it, trust me. And then of course, the iconic KAR98K, which we were half expecting to not be as good as we remember, but they have kept it to the original. It is like the one that we used in Rebirth Island and Verdansk, the original Warzone during lockdown, and it might slightly be broken. And that is the first loadout that I'm going to show you in today's video. The Superi 46, if I show you it in the firing range, is so easy to use. It's got a really clean iron sight. It's a slow, steady fire rate. It's not like a high fire rate weapon like we're used to recently, like the Striker 9, which actually got a little bit of a nerf this season, or like the FJX Horus, which they added last season. It's just the perfect sniper support, which is quite funny, bearing in mind they have, of course, given us the KAR98K. But the build that I've personally been running, I've built it quite similar to my Striker 9. I've gone for the Zem compensated flash hider. Then there's a whole ton of barrels to choose from. I know it can be quite overwhelming sometimes, but I've gone for the Hound Guard heavy barrel to give me that bullet velocity and range and that aiming idle sway. It does hurt your sprint to fire and sprint to fire speed a little bit, but honestly, not that big of a deal. That extra bullet velocity just really helps when you're using it as a sniper support. Then I've got the DR6 hand stop. Now for me personally, I just prefer using it over the XRK Edge. Like, there is very slim differences. If you want that extra little bit of movement speed, that 0.1 millimeters a second, go for the XRK Edge. You do have a little bit of a slower ADS, but it's so marginal, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But I go for the hand stop. Then I go for the 40 round mag, and then you've got the Rescue 9 stock, which increases your tactical sprint speed, your movement speed, your sprint speed, and then also that recoil control, just making it that little bit easier to use without many cons, to be perfectly honest with you. And then of course, we've got the KAR98K. This is probably the gun that you want to know most about. We've got I don't even know if I want to try and say this, the Prazenguire 7.62 long barrel. I've absolutely butchered that, but you know, that's the barrel that you're going to want to be using. Bullet velocity, damage range, pretty standard stuff. Then you're going to have that SL Razorhawk laser sight. I know some people have been running the Sonic Suppressor L for Urzikstan, but on Rebirth Island especially, you don't need that. That SL Razorhawk is just going to give you aim walking steadiness, sprint to fire, and ADS speed. Honestly, incredible attachment. I then really like the SPX 6.6 scope. I like using this as a sniper. However, you can, of course, go ahead and use like any kind of like optic that you want. You go for the SL True Sight. You go for the Choreo Eagle Eye. On Rebirth Island, it doesn't really matter. It's personal preference. Either works. I just go for the 6.6, pairing it with the SMG. No stock. Aim, like, honestly, it's a sniper. Gun kick control, recoil control, flinch resistance, doesn't matter, and you're not going to use it in tactical stance. But aim walking speed, sprint to fire, movement speed, and ADS, and then that high grain rounds as well. But if I quickly show you these guns just in the firing range, just so you can see, like, honestly, it is just so easy to use, and it's very much like that original KAR98. Also, my partners, HyperX, have got a huge sale going on right now, and you can use the code BennyCentral for an additional 20% off almost anything on the site. So check that out in the description. Code BennyCentral gives you an extra 20% on top of the 20% sale that they've got going on. But yeah, definitely huge shout out to HyperX and Omen, some big partners of mine. But we now move on to our second meta loadout. You may recognize this from Season 3. Both the DG58 LSW and the Striker 9 did get nerfed, but they are still very much at the top of the meta. The nerf to the DG58 is quite minuscule, especially on Rebirth Island. It's a drop in the bullet velocity. It's still going to absolutely shred everyone and is still super easy to use. Caseless break muzzle, Bruin heavy support underbarrel, the Woody long barrel, Jack glassless optic, or the Choreo Eagle Eye, depending on what you prefer, and then that recoil reduction butt plate just to kind of help eliminate all that recoil. Super easy to use. Yes, got nerfed. Still top of the meta. Then the Striker 9 is the same. Zem 35 compensated flash hider, the Striker Recon long barrel, the DR6 hand stop, the 50 round drum, and the Striker factory stock. Also, you may recognize smoke grenades, thermites, and the perk setup that I'm actually using at the moment is this. Mountaineer Irradiated, which is incredibly underrated because you can plate whilst in the gas, you take less gas damage, it allows you to make gas plays that no one else can really do. It has saved me so many times in end games, especially on Rebirth. Yeah, just give it a go. Pair that with Quick Fix as well. You get a finish on, you can stay in the gas even longer. It is insane. But then also thermites. Broken, incredibly annoying to come up against, and then smoke grenades are pretty standard. Then these are two new weapons in the meta. We've got the HOLGER 26, which received a buff. This thing is an absolute laser beam and gives you kind of an alternative. We're definitely in the era of the LMG meta. You got the Spirit Fire Suppressor, the HOLGER Factory Barrel, the Hound 9G Grip, then the 5.56 NATO high grain rounds, and the Jack Glassless Optic. I'll quickly show it to you in the firing range so you can see it, but kicks a little bit initially to the right, so you've got to do that and then correct it. But yeah, this thing is going to shred, and 60 round base mag, so kind of similar to what you would have with the HOLGER 5.56, but just the LMG version. And then we've got the FJX Horus. This received one of the biggest buffs in this season, and it is insane. Incredibly mobile, very fun to use. Was arguably there last season, but this season where the Striker 9's been nerfed, this has been buffed, it's going to be used quite a lot. You're going to have the Zem Compensated Flash Hider, the Martyr's Heavy Barrel, the 9mm high grain rounds, 48 round mag, and then the Ripper Light Stock. And as you'll see here, great movement, super easy to use, good iron sight. Not at a distance, but the range that you're going to prioritize using this, close range inside of buildings, it's just going to shred everyone. A lot of fun to use. Our next loadout is then with the MCW conversion kit. You've got that Jack Raven kit. This somehow didn't get nerfed. The MCW got a slight buff with its like damage, minimum damage increased. And it's honestly, I was surprised that this just got left how it was, because it's arguably one of the best guns in the game still. But you've got the Zem Compensated Flash Hider, the second line Mammoth Heavy Barrel for that bullet velocity and range, aim walking steadiness, aim walking speed, and movement speed. Makes it a really good sniper support. The DR6 hand stop for the underbarrel, the 40 round mag, and yeah, honestly, a lot of fun to use. Clean iron sight, and just give it a go if you haven't already. And honestly, how nice is this camo? Like, I'm so glad I managed to get iridescent at the last minute to be able to unlock it, because the crimson one just isn't anywhere near as good. And then, of course, we've got that KAR98K once again, if you want to go ahead and use it, which you definitely will. And then our final loadout, we have got the MTZ 5.56. This dominates on Rebirth Island. It's an incredible mid-range weapon, and a player that I play with a lot quicker than you swears by this. It's the Spirit Fire Suppressor, the MTZ Drifter Heavy Barrel, the 50 round drum, the Jack Glassless Optic, and then that MTZ Marauder stock. It is a laser beam, got buffed, so it is even better than it was. Give it a go and let me know what you think about it in the comments. And then I pair that with the WSP9, which got a very slight nerf, but is an incredibly hard-hitting, easy-to-use SMG. Just make sure you're hitting those body and headshots, because limb damage did get reduced. Zem Compensated Flash Hider, his short light barrel, DRC6 hand stop, the 50 round mag, and then the quarter classic reflex. It's a different optic. A lot of people don't use it, but I really, really like it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I hope these loadouts help you out with Season 4, and I will see you next time for more Call of Duty Warzone. Thanks for watching.